Frank in North Carolina. You're on the air with Robert David Steele.
Yeah, Alex, I respect you for taking my call. I consider myself to be an amateur intelligence officer. I'm a former 0311 team leader, 9/11 truther, truth seeker, truth teller, the best I know how. And I am an admirer of Cynthia McKinney. And I recently heard Dr. Steve Pachinik state something on your show that you are a master of mixing fact with fiction and also of the psyop. And I just wanted to say that I really agree with that, with his characterization, and you expend a lot of time and energy deflecting attention away from ground zero of the New World Order, which is organized Jewry.
Well, sir, you know, one big part of that is I'm constantly being accused of getting my orders from Israel, okay? And that if somebody falls on a banana peel, Jews did it. Do I like some of the things some of the interests in Israel have done? I mean, there's a bunch of different camps in Israel. They're constantly trying to overthrow each other. Just like I criticized communist China, but I said I'm not against the Chinese people. It's not out of some control. I haven't had Jews involved in anything I've done. I've had liberal Jews, call me anti-Semitic and make up crap, and I've not sunk to their race-baiting level because I'm not anti-Semitic. I'm not against Arabs. I'm not against Jews. I'm not against anybody. But I'm gonna go to break. I'm gonna let you come back, Robert. I know this is a short segment, but I'll keep you at the end. Sorry, Robert, 20 seconds. I'm going to come back to the caller after that. Go ahead.
Okay, there are 4 levels of Zionists, and most Jews are not the problem. It's the Rothschilds and the Zionists at the top of Israel. It's not Israel, and it's not Jews that are the problem.
Sure. I'm going to come back to Frank. Don't give him a couple minutes on this because it just gives me a headache. I mean, it really does. I mean, I work for the Vatican. I work for the CIA. I work for the Jews. How about I did some things myself in my life, You know what I found? Is there's an infighting bug whether you're liberal, conservative, Christian, Jewish, agnostic, libertarian, where everybody wants to be this purist that then grades and reviews everybody else. And it's one of the favorite tactics, and I don't screen your calls. I mean, I'm happy to take this call. Where people call in and they say, you're covering up, for the Jews and all this stuff. Meanwhile, I have the left calling me deeply racist, unalloyed racist, Tom Brokaw, you name it, taken out of the crypt to come out and say it. And I've got the Forward and the Jerusalem Post saying Alex Jones thinks Jews are evil, and Alex Jones thinks blah, 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 all this horrible. So it's just crazy. The paradigm where I have almost, I'm not saying you're this, Frank, but the Nazi groups, the KKK, I mean, they hate me more than Bibi Netanyahu. And it's because most of the Nazi movements and things have been run by the FBI and by big foundations. They've been caught over and over again. And so they want to create an internal fight in a nationalist movement to brand the nationalist movement as a race-based system. And then anyone that tries to bring everybody in under free market open systems is then branded as a race traitor. So it's attacked from without and within. And then people want to feel good, like they can call in and they can say to the Alex Jones, you're not pure, you're a fake. I agree with Steve Pachinik, and who says you mix truth with fiction. That's not what Pachinik said. He said I can come in with narrative and archetype and things and story tell and then bring in the news, parables, examples, parallels. All I've got is my integrity. And I have the most open show of different diverse ideas, and I'm not here even defending myself. I care about Frank. Frank's been calling in, off and on for 10 years, if I remember his voice right. I have a good memory. And it's basically always the same deal. Dude, all you got to do is you want to get on the air and say stuff about Israel or whatever it is, you're going to be able to say it. Nobody screens your call. And just say that. It's it has to be let's add Alex Jones in because he's covering it up. If I was covering it up, bro, I could snap my fingers and have him sit there and interrogate people and hang up on folks, or we could plug in. We got digital phone systems, caller ID. We don't even do that. And I could have your numbers in there and know that's what other talk radio does. That's why they talk to you 3-4 minutes before you get on air. We're not screening your calls. What is it about that integrity you don't understand? Okay? See, if you want to say something Israel, that's, I mean, I think I even heard you when I was off last week call in, or somebody sound like you. And like, Jones didn't cover the USS Liberty. I made a film about it. I had the captain on before he died. I had the chairman of the Joint Chiefs on. I had the head of the Judge Advocate General on. I've done probably 100 shows on it. I'm dealing with World War III with the Russians right now. But again, it's just this little power trip. And it's not that you hurt me. You hurt yourself as a man to try to count coup on somebody and to say things about somebody that didn't do it. In fact, it got the white supremacists and people, I mean, we're talking about panties in a wad. When I made Fabled Enemies showing how Israel, the U.S., and other governments were actually funding radical Islam and staging terror attacks from the documents. I mean, they thought it was the end of the world. And that's because the ADL and Southern Poverty Law Center handlers, like we know ran Elohim City, are pissed. So the real intelligence operatives, like people go, oh, Alex must work for the CIA. I am so proud I did this myself and with my listeners who get the credit. I am so proud that I'm organic. I am so proud that I'm not associated with any of this. Can I pick the phone up and call current former CIA? Can I pick the phone up and call senators? Can I pick the phone up if I need to and get a call of the president? You bet I can. But the point is that I'm who I am, Frank. Now, I don't want to piss on our other callers and not get to our guest who's holding, Robert David Steele here, who will have his own comment on this in a moment. But again, we're not like mainstream media where something happens, we got to wait a day to see what the corporate line is. It's instant. It's instant here. So you're really talking to me, Frank. I'm real. I believe what I say. I don't work for the Jews. Okay, go ahead.
So Alex, I'm very sympathetic because you've been prominent for much longer than I have, and it's only now that I'm starting to get my stalkers and people who misunderstand me and attack me and so forth. So what you're paying for is the price of fame.
Well, I'm going to give you the floor on this subject, and you talk about different types of Zionism in a minute. There's Christian Zionism, social Zionism, communist Zionism, political Zionism, metaphysical. We'll talk about it briefly, but I want to give Frank a minute because I've got to rant at him for 5 minutes. Go ahead, Frank. Let me have it.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Alex. And like you always say, justice be done, let the heavens fall. I agree there is a hierarchy. From my investigation, from my heart, it all seems to be subservient to organized Jewry. You look, I mean, the Jewish people are the most organized people in the world. You look, don't even, I mean, I'm not even talking about Israel. Just look at the organizations of Israel and the money they're able to raise here in America. And I mean, and their control that they exercise over the media. I mean, I used to fight these guys that you call Nazis. I used to defend you. I used to write like 5-page-long blogs defending you on social media 10, 11 years ago.
Sir, I don't think you need to defend straw men that they've created. You don't need to do that. And what I'm saying to you is they also give mythical powers to Jews and then say everyone's really Jewish who isn't, or Jews funded this, Jews funded that. Do you understand that? It's fundamentally insulting to think that InfoWars was secretly financed by Jews. Okay, I'm sick of it. I want to promote ideology of freedom, not infighting, and then we're going to get Jews, everybody else to join it. I believe in that. I believe my ideas, your ideas, good ideas, are going to trump whatever mafia crap there is. Is there a Jewish mafia? Absolutely. Do they demonize me for exposing it? Absolutely. When you expose Jewish mafia, do they call you anti-Semitic? Absolutely. No, there's mafias in every group. The Russian mob's big. The Jew mob's big. The Italian mob's big. The WASP mob is so big, they don't even call it a mob. The point is, and then they misrepresent what I say. How do you square the leftist press and the Forward and all the rest of it saying I'm basically Adolf Hitler, and then all the Nazis hate me more than anybody? How do you square that up?
Well, I checked the names of all the people that you talked about for the past 11 years that are agents of the New World Order, whatever you want to call it, the elites, the globalists. Almost all of them are Jewish, so that begged the question. I didn't know anything about Jewish power. I looked it up on the internet. I said, well, what percentage of the population do Jews make up? When I found out that they'd never made up more than 1 or 2% of the population of the United States. But I checked the bios. I ended up calling it a bio check. They're almost all Jews. Everybody you talk about on your show for the past 11 years, almost all of them are Jewish. How is that irrelevant?
But see, nobody then goes, oh, look at Matt Drudge fighting the globalist. He's Jewish. Or look at people in Trump's family that are involved supporting fighting the globalist. It's way more complex than that. But listen, you've had your time. I got to get to other callers. And then I'll get callers saying the Vatican runs it all. Or they'll say I'm anti-Catholic because I'm exposing pedophile rings that took it over. I'm not anti-Catholic either. Just like Masons, I'm not anti-Mason. They can use any big organization or group for power groups to form in. Robert David Steele, I mean, what is your view on this? Unfiltered. We don't pre-interview you like everybody else tries to do. I mean, we don't sense. Have I ever told you what to talk about or what to do? I know you've been critical of Israel.
If you're, my bottom line is, if you're being attacked, you're being effective. Period.
But how do you square the paradox of I'm like #1 enemy of the Nazis and white supremacists? Literally, and then the liberal Jewish groups say I'm this Nazi. I mean, it's just crazy.
Well, yeah, the reason Cynthia McKinney and I joined together is because I'm alt-right and she's alt-left. We're actually trying to talk to the bikers about having a biker escort for.
No, you're all about solutions, but how do you square up what I'm talking about?
You have to be true to yourself and keep doing it. Period. You cannot let all these nitpickers get you off course. And one of the things that I'm finding is right now I'm under a massive slanderous attack from a guy with zero integrity.
No, I agree, but you just got to move forward and ignore it all. Because that's what these psychic vampires, I'm not saying the last guy's a psychic vampire, but some of these people, that's what they do. And it's important we talk about this infighting. Because people, my crew comes to me and says, hey, these people are fighting each other.
It helps to acknowledge the attack. I think it helps to acknowledge the attack and to do one gracious response. And in the event the attack is violating the law, as this guy is with me, and I got to give Google high marks. They forced him to take down videos in which he was slandering me. So as much as I don't like the way Google has attacked you, and I hope that's all settled, as much as...
Well, it wasn't even Google, we've now learned. It was a contractor company that actually hooked him with Facebook.
Well, I'm glad to hear that, because I think Google has a lot of power to do good, but I don't like the way they've manipulated searches in favor of Hillary Clinton and against Donald Trump. But having said that, Google, I will say now publicly, Google did well by me in the last 48 hours in ensuring that videos that slandered me, that were illegal and obviously legally actionable, were taken down. So God bless Google, God bless Donald Trump, God bless Alex Jones.
In ancient times, man roamed the earth in a constant state of hunting or being hunted. Introducing Caveman, where cutting-edge science meets ancient super nutrients. Secure your bottle right now at InfoWarsStore.com.